Hand corner, how a blue Terran player from Team Liquid. This is Clem. He takes on the top left, our red Protoss player here, herO, asking if the server is west. Usually isn't a good sign, because that means he probably feels like it's laggier than usual. And GLHF. And away we go. So it seems like we're not going to have any issue to actually begin with. We will just see. The Reaper wall is going to be the starting point here from herO. So he's going to look to get that up. Gateway, barracks, gas, everything is very much so kind of as you would expect it to be for the moment. So again, getting that underway, getting things settled down for a little bit. Nothing too crazy right off the bat to start things. Say very much so just kind of the expectation to get things beginning with. Which is good. Obviously just kind of plain standard to start. I like it. No proxies or anything. Kind of hoping for a real banger of a series between these two. We've had a couple of good games today, but maybe I'm just a little bit, maybe we just had too good a set of games yesterday. But yeah, yesterday's games were really good, so I'd love to see just a couple more games, like really kind of pop off today. That'd be awesome. Let's see how our next command center continues to come on through. So we just get that settled up. And this SCV going to continue to be just a little bit annoying for a couple of moments. Kind of go in and fight. So just going to get that probe push back and try and regain control of your base. Depth coming up again. Warp Gate is producing. Our Nexus is over halfway along with the assimilator about to finish up on the side of herO as well. That probe is going to get back onto that SCV once again, just doing a little bit of damage. SCV very nearly goes down, and the probe is going to get caught now by the Reapers. So Reaper will get a few shots off. We'll start to make a move to clear this out. Clem, obviously, in the round of 8, it has to be mentioned, he really just dispatched of MaxPax. You know, he really just got himself into some good positions. He really just dealt well with what was going on initially. Clem put himself in some excellent spots to start us off in that previous series against MaxPax. And if he plays like that against herO, I do struggle to see where herO's going to find the openings and the opportunities and the damage that he oftentimes might need to take on someone like Clem. So that'll be interesting as we get on through. We're seeing there's a depth, the Reaper, the Marines all kind of gathering up. We all get joined together here. Depth continues to establish for the moment. See now, Reaper going to fire a few more shots off. And two Adepts together will sit at the front to really try and bring some more damage into play. There's a couple of Adepts will try and go up the ramp, but again, not really justifiable just yet. Going to be seeing our Adepts still trying to find something a little extra here. Nothing too crazy though. Marines and a Hellion will continue forward. The Adept will continue to take some damage. Just going to see that one Adept low HP. We're going to get out of there. The other Adept sticks around a little bit at the front just to try and catch a unit or so. The Hellion, for example, and that's exactly what happens. The Hellion does take a few shots before being pushed back to its natural, and then the Adept can just shade. So yeah, no, nice play altogether from herO. Just doing what he can with those first couple of Adepts, but again, without really taking more damage than he needs to. He killed a Reaper. Both players lost a worker. Also, herO's Adepts are hurt, but they ain't dead, which is the most important part of this to perhaps take note of at the moment. Job well done there. And let's just have ourselves the blink continuing up. Again, another barracks coming through, the tech lab getting go. Let's have ourselves a couple of assimilators coming up also. Continue to bring this through. That unit's lost tab as, again, with that blink finishing, hero's already on his way to a third, so there's nothing overly aggressive about this in the slightest. They're going to be very, very chilled with that as our Hellion does move forward, gets a couple of shots off, Stalkers in the sentry, push a couple of things away. Just going to shove that out of there for now. As you have our, again, charge coming up. Robo facility, the Forge all continuing through as well. So again, a lot of that continues to come on up right now. Just going to be seeing a couple of extra sentries coming about, getting this all on the way. Definitely a little bit more setting up to be done as our starport with the reactor moves back on over toward the main base. Just going to go back over that side, get on over there. The charge is halfway through, the couple extra gates are building, probes are on the way up. Robo facility is about to finish as well. The couple of batteries will be also finishing very shortly. Again, just seeing Stimpack, Combat Shield, and +1 now all being built to get ourselves a whole bunch of additional upgrades up and running. Obviously, when Clem hits those upgrades, that's when the game really gets a lot more interesting from his point of view in terms of being able to deal damage. Right now, he's got a Medivac still poised, but yet to strike. And in general, I mean, just a fairly passive game, right? No one's really lost much since those early adepts, and they're both leaving each other for the most part alone. herO's third was fairly quick, so he can get going pretty quickly as well. It's just genuinely a very peaceful opening here. There's a couple Medivacs, Marines, and Marauders will all continue through still. There's one adept just going to try and go up that ramp once again, and is going to get through, hit the depot a couple of times. Only the Clem still presses forward. Marines coming over, the Raven overhead. We're going to take a few more shots from the Stalkers. Oh my goodness, goes down. Clem, big push from him, and obviously to lose the Raven so soon is just a shame because there's so much potential tied up in that Raven. So it really is a shame to just sort of not connect as these couple of Widow Mines will burrow up, and they're just going to go, oh, they do find the clump. 6 probes on the first shot. The second mine just found the 1 for the 7. And that is going to be too much right there. I mean, hero's trying to push through this, lots of force fields. I feel like it's kind of hurting some of his zealots there at the end. There's one more Widow Mine left to go. We might actually get rid of a lot of the sentries. If that last sentry goes down, that'll at least be no force fields for the next round. Fire continues around, Stalkers and a couple of Adepts continue forward. We just have ourselves the Medivacs, Marines, and Marauders all still just producing through. Zealots will charge in once more, the Bio's still kiting backward. And we actually get more Widow Mines set up. They're going to go off on all the Zealots, and now the Zealots do genuinely seem to be in some trouble, so they will all begin to drop down further. Oh. After a little bit of excitement, resource loss is dead even. 26 resources separate these two right now. And so that was a pretty exciting set of trades, really. In fact, that was a very exciting set of trades. The Stalkers continue to move about. Do you see the concussive shells, the +1 armor coming through? The couple of Vikings are on the way out as well. Robo facility will get started. The Prism is just popping out. We're going to start to build up some more Colossi, and obviously with the second Robo likely get into some disruptive production to follow as well once you hit a comfortable Colossus count. That would typically be the way that we play things here, so that's our current set of expectations. As our buy units come moving across the map, trying to see a little bit of what is going on. We're gonna just line up a little bit of a fight. Just gonna go trading there for a moment. I'm just gonna shoot a few Zealots going down. This army of herO coming across the map is actually looking to try and make something happen. Absolutely trying to make something go down here. Let's just have the rest of this Bioforce continuing out further onto the map for the moment. Looking to try and get set. Go after a couple of these Zealots as well, so just trying to find a little bit extra right now, trying to find something on top of what we're already seeing. Once again, we just continue to shoot, Zealots continue to go down. So far, so good, as herO just needs to be careful, and with force fields he should be fine, and that's why I'm happy to see a couple more sentries in the army. If you're going to be aggressive out on the map like this, you need force fields. You need to be able to say, no, 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 the chase stops right here. You know, you do have enough right now. Otherwise, you never get to retreat. Otherwise, you're constantly in a state of running. And if you're in that constant state of just running the hell away, that's never going to end well for you, right? Like, that's never going to be great, quite frankly. So, as you see, Engineering Bay number 2, the Armory coming up. Temple Archive, Stalkers, and Disruptors all coming out as well. The Cannon continues to build also, so we get that Cannon coming up. Again, +1 armor's about ready to go. The Medivac boosts across over the left-hand side. Still seeing our Stalker just getting a couple of shots off, and we do dive in. Able to grab and nab a Widow Mine. That Medivac gets chased. Clem is chasing the main army. His force, I love this position, just kind of where the Vikings are in dead airspace. Hard for the Stalkers to fight back. Easy for the Vikings to get away. No chase down really available there, so we'll do very well on that one. As now, I don't mind Clem being there. Obviously, if you could get a Colossus pick off ahead of time, that would be amazing before a larger fight. He's going to have to be careful with those Disruptors. Actually has to stim there, and as he splits some units up to the top, they went down as well, so that Disruptor was very effective, not just for the unit they killed directly, but for the units it indirectly managed to grab some damage onto, essentially, as well. So, in that regard, it worked out very nicely. The Disruptor shot will land on a Widow Mine. Our Medivac still coming over. And Planetary Fortress continues to set up for the moment, so we continue to get this all on the way. Oh, that was a nasty one. 6 probes going down to that is going to be just a little bit painful, so yeah, no luck on that, unfortunately. Going to be seeing our army now still pushing through the center. A couple Disruptor shots will land. A Widow Mine goes down already. Rocks taking some damage as we continue through. And we actually are going to see these Colossi continue to fire up once again. So just going for a little bit more damage right now. Now going to be seeing our bio turn back around. Vikings going after them Colossi. Another Disruptor shot for a couple Marauders. And Clem just can't really go down this ramp into Disruptors. I mean, attacking into Disruptors is rough anyways, but naturally choking yourself up to then attacking into Disruptors is even, you know, more worst-case scenario than it already might seem. So obviously really would not be ideal. Let's just see a couple of Widow Mines continue to bubble up. The army continues down to the bottom. And we are just going to be seeing a couple more Disruptors coming through here. We actually do get rid of the Colossi pretty quickly. The Vikings are going to make pretty short work of those. Nothing to really stop the Vikings from continuing on in, so the Vikings will chase. The Colossi going down. Clem's being held off purely by the Disruptors right now. Those Disruptors truly are the one thing currently that are very much so keeping Clem's army from just completely chasing, so you're at least able to do well there, but it does feel like he's kind of the one bleeding out some units at the moment. See ourselves, the army continues to come across, the Zealot Stalkers and everything else continue to come through. Just going to be having ourselves Disruptor shots still moving on by. Again, a couple more Widow Mines getting set up. Just going to be having the Zealots going to continue forward for a moment or two. And wow, Widow Mines are huge, man. They hit so many of those Zealots. So many of those Zealots as we're just going to be seeing now a couple more shots continuing along. We're just going to be seeing our bio taking a few more hits, going back and forth here. Just going to be having ourselves a couple more Disruptor shots coming by as well. Looking good early. Medivacs boosting across. We do see the +3/+3 upgrades coming through. The armor upgrade, the +3 armor from herO still continuing in. Now herO's taking that supply lead as things have slipped around just that little bit, perhaps. It's a little bit of a change of pace here as we do see another Disruptor shot going to come through. Well, Widow Mine's still going off, still trying to find a bit of something as we do have Bio still fighting. Another Disruptor shot going through. Actually gets a kaboom. Half a lift up from Clem. That was not the prettiest of lifts. You expect him to be maybe a little bit cleaner than that, honestly, for the fact it's Clem. His micro is meant to be absolutely top-notch. That felt like a bit of a mistake. herO's controlling this game well. Clem does not feel comfortable at all to try and get, to really get in there and to try and deal damage, He's really not doing well, as you do see 8 probes going down. That is going to be a pretty reasonable connection on that one. See now, more Zealots coming around. Widowmine shot goes through. That's going to be decent. That Disruptor will find one more Widowmine. Another Disruptor shot fires through as well. Just lands on a Ghost. And don't get me wrong, they're both still competitive when it comes to supplies. Any fight can really go either way. It really comes down to how the engagements fall. The Vikings should get rid of the Colossi here without issue. The Stalkers are completely out of position. herO hits the rocks once as he tries to back away. So many of his Disruptors feel exposed right there. The Bio kites to the right where actually they hit an Archon rather than going after Disruptors. My goodness. I felt like that was a way better scenario for Clem than what it actually turned out as. I felt like there were so many Disruptors that were on the verge of dying. Clem just couldn't target fire them with so much going on, unfortunately. And that is a little bit of a costly miss in the end, because obviously removing Disruptors from the equation would be incredible for the next stage of this. One more Marauders coming now, a couple of Widowmines. We do see our army still getting into the center. Zealot, Stalkers, Vikings, everything's starting to clash. There goes the last Colossus. Now it's really only these Disruptors, but again, they can always be dangerous. We know very much so that that is the case. Back around the left, still got to dodge those Disruptors. That's why herO's able to be out on the map right now. Those Disruptors are dictating what Clem can and cannot do with his army. herO is making this Terran army just to move just as much as Clem is at the moment, but now we get far enough forward. That's the problem with 3 Disruptors. 3 Disruptors isn't enough to fire one Disruptor shot at all times. That's what you're kind of missing there. Widowmine sets up. More Stalkers just going to get chased away. 11 probes going down. The Widowmines across the map going to put another hit on herO's economy. herO, who's only had 54 workers as well, so is not really being set up nicely. That's just going to be another pain for him. Plus 1 ship weapon still coming through. The refinery still coming up. A couple of Widowmines extra being built as well. So all of that coming in. Disruptor shot fires to the top. Doesn't land. Nexus is about to finish as that cannon will clean up a few more Widowmines, sorry, the probes. Get back to that top side as well, and now more Bio. Gonna go out over to the left-hand side. Cannon goes down, the pylon as well. Nexus taking some shots. Widowmines will connect for a few of them Zealots. Now we dive on forward here, just gonna jump on this base. It looks as though Clem maybe just starting to take a bit too much control. herO had to stop and rebuild a few probes, but now he's going to lose them again. He's going to lose this base. Clem might lose his bottom base. However, he is going to be all over the place. He's top, he's left. He's got 2 armies dealing significant damage, whereas herO is going to have maybe, well, just the one, really. We continue through. We do see the probes backing away. The Bio going to get back there. Disruptor just spawned. Clem wants to chase it. He wants to kill it before it connects. It gets a huge connection. Misplay from Clem. I don't think it was a bad call, but he just didn't have quite the DPS to get rid of it. Disruptor from the back will go down. herO's army's coming back home. How will Clem approach? Dealing with this army that's now returning from across the map. Stalker's getting on top of things straight away. Going to be seeing Azal still charging through. Another EMP going down. Widowmine's connecting. Stalker taking some shots. Zealots and Disruptors all continue to move around. Just going to be seeing a couple more hits going out. And the Stalker's getting hit by the Planetary Fortress, and the Bioforce will continue to sit here. Just for the moment, then. More attacks still coming through. Another Disruptor shot lining up. I'm just going to be seeing ourselves a little bit of a move forward initially. Just going to be seeing Disruptors still flying on out. As we are going to be seeing this army of Clem. It should be enough. Obviously, I think it's going to be tough to find enough Disruptor shots to really upset things here, so this should be fine. As Clem cleans up, and herO Supply is just not going to keep him in this any longer. Pretty fantastic game. A lot of great movement between these two. A lot of really good back and forth, and I think that really is just the sign of a great matchup between two, you know. As we get ourselves into this, let's get it rolling. As we have ourselves in the top left-hand side. It's going to be our blue Terran player. This is Team Liquid's Clem. Taking on in the bottom right, our red Protoss player, Dragon Kaiser Gaming's herO. Alright. Game number 2. On the bottom right side herO, top left side Clem. We did the intros. Let's get to the action. Gateway going down already. Figure out just what we're going to see from this for the next few moments. As we continue to get settled here, take a little bit of damage. Get ourselves up and rolling, like I say, just for the moment. See where we are going to go. Probe comes down and is going to go and mine away just slightly at a couple of those minerals, so just going to go do a little bit of something there. Cybercore coming up, the barracks is finishing, the Reaper's on the way. There's our Nexus going down. So Nexus gets started, Cybercore coming up. Again, nothing too wild to begin the game with. You know, same as last game, nothing really immediately like proxied or anything. I'm so good at controlling those units right as well. Just, you know, just throughout, it's so easy to lose track of things when you're a Terran player in this situation sometimes, so yeah. Love all that. Let's just have ourselves Reaper continuing around and out onto the map. Just for a moment as we have ourselves the sentry coming up, gate coming through. Stalker continues around just for the moment here then, and we do have a Twilight Council as the setup from herO this time around. Obviously last time played himself a Phoenix Stargate opener. This time we are going to go for a little bit of a different route, so just get that up immediately. Two more gateways. herO was... Sorry, why am I on about Phoenix and Stargate? Sorry. He played the freaking Blink opener with a very fast third base last time. I'm just completely talking out my ass. I don't know why. I think for some reason, I was like, oh yeah, he had Colossi. It must have been Phoenix Colossus. Blink Colossus feels like it's been a little bit rarer again lately. I mean, if you take that faster third base, getting Colossi up after that is pretty expected, I suppose. If it continues around, and we do have that Blink about halfway done already. Armory coming up. And along we go. So far, so good. In that regard. Just gonna see our robo facility coming up, a couple of probes coming in. Waiting for whatever else is about to happen. Just coming out that right hand side, the medevac coming through, and we just have ourselves the Blink is about to finish Chrono Boost now. The Reaper comes across, the Sentry takes some hits. Nexus is going down, and that charge coming up as well, so we all coming about here. Yeah, so very different routing as we just see Charge and the Temple Archives come up immediately. So yeah, different game still from herO. As now that third base comes in, Clem gets the Raven on the go, Stimpack coming up, the Engineering Bay coming through. So we're just getting a lot of this set up for the moment. Still. Comes about, just going to be getting going as well. So again, a little bit more damage being dealt here. As we get settled early, just going to be having our gates coming up, the Prism on the way. Storm and the Charge all coming up again. Stimpack and Combat Shield is continuing to come through with that Storm coming up on the Temple Archives. So we do get ourselves just straight to Storm this time from herO, going for a completely different approach. Like I say, no Colossi this time around as our Raven makes its way down the bottom. I mean, that's an instant feedback, so that's going to be nothing gained from this Raven of Clem. Maybe tries to keep it around for a bit of scouting. Obviously can just leave it behind the mineral line to come in again later. But it's not going to have any immediate effect, that's for sure. So Clem just going to be sitting back. Obviously still has this Widow Mine drop just sat there as well. That High Templar just sits there waiting. Is he just waiting for... How much energy does this Medivac got? 161. You know, it gets up to 190 or so. That feedback will kill it. Oh, we didn't wait long enough. He waited and waited. I was gonna say, like, I thought the idea was he's waiting here for the, you know, to get enough energy so that when he feedbacks it, it just dies. He got impatient, or he just miscalculated. He did not wait long enough there, and so the Medivac will live for a little while longer. But it is very much so a sitting duck that, as we've seen, is going to be able to be dealt with by herO, even if it does just take one more feedback a few moments down the line from now. Mines. We'll just go for 2 probes. So that's nice as the drop on the bottom side gets effective. Still we're hitting on this Medivac to actually be cleaned up for full this time. As there we go. Feedback goes down. And that could have been a little easier. But just probably had to wait the same amount of time. But you know what? Doesn't really matter. It's all good. As we do get rid of those couple mines in the main mineral line as well. The High Templar and the Stalker still going through. The Widow Mines still take. Still a couple more shots just coming by as well. And the Stalkers continue to just play cleanup. Now 6 probes went down, 4 SCVs went down, some harass on the other side is successful from herO. But he did cost him the Prism, so yeah, our Observer didn't catch it. I was going to say, so that was probably a Storm drop, so you only got 4 SCVs and the Prism went down with a couple High Templar. That doesn't seem ideal. That's actually a pretty big loss there. Sorry guys, I'm following the official Observer of Kung Fu Cup. They put on a clean feed and everything, so I kind of put my faith in this man to catch everything, but yeah, he missed out on that one a little bit, which it's okay, it happens. But yeah, pretty big deal, because now you lose some of your Storms, you lose some of your Prism action as well. We have a couple more Ghosts just continue to come out. Obviously against that initial Storm, makes sense to get the Ghosts up nice and quickly, really take those in as a bit of a priority as soon as you possibly can. Medivacs continue out over the left-hand side. +1 attack is still coming through. The Vikings are still producing. Another Widow Mine shot goes off for a couple of Zealots. The tank is good to hit the Zealots as well. It's continuing to do very decently over there. That group of Biounits continue to chase through the top side. Again, Vikings Marauders coming through. Our Zealots will unload. SCV's already taking quite a lot of damage. 5 workers going down. So yeah, 5 SCVs will indeed fall. The Vikings are just coming over. And Marines trying to intercept. This is bad, man. We're going to have to drop the recall. The other Vikings were there. Oh, my goodness. Probably wasn't going to be enough in time. But maybe if they... It might have been close. Maybe if they just sent it, but... Clem didn't want to waste any time at all. Starting to move down to the bottom side of the map, which is exactly what he looks to do right now. Beginning to move out down to the south. So away we go. Having ourselves the... Army of herO prepping to deal with this incoming attack. We do have some Vikings out, which is obviously good against that Prism, and the Prism is going to go down. That High Templar as well. That was the only High Templar in that, so that was just the good Storm that went off. Nothing else really being punished for getting that. There is going to be another Storm coming down, still another scan coming about. The Widow Mine connects once again onto another Zealot. Another couple of Zealots, and the Stalker is still coming about right now, as our extended thermal lance is still coming through. Vikings, ghosts, more barracks all building. We're going to see the Bioforce jumping straight onto this set of rocks, and as we knock that down, life will be good. Again, our starport is still coming up, the extra barracks coming in. Missile turrets also producing. Let's just go charging forward. Stalkers as well. A couple of those Marines getting picked as we continue to chase. Fire runs up the right-hand side. There is that Nexus. He's going to take some damage pretty much straight away. That Nexus goes down. The cannon's about to be killed. Storms will come through here again all the way across the map. The Storm's starting to hurt a lot of his own units there. The Vikings had a decent position, but there's more Storms available, so Clem has to keep on retreating again with the counterattack. Clem's doing good damage, but can he truly make his way through that army? Gets up that ramp. If he depowers that robo, stops the disruptor coming out. That would be big. Stops the super battery as well. A few Marauders turn around onto those Colossi that have appeared to try and play defense. So Clem will just kind of chase those off a little bit. Let his main force still deal some damage. We lift up. We get away. One medevac goes down. The Stalkers did find the connection necessary to remove that one at least. As Clem kills the Colossus that's back over here across the map. And just a messy game. A lot going on, and mistakes are being made from these two, because it's just becoming that, messy and stressful of a game. It is becoming a lot happening all at once. So a couple storms come down, the Vikings come forward. Our Colossi will take some hits as we have ourselves. I don't think this is good enough from herO, honestly. I feel like the last few bio units should do well, and now we can land the Vikings against Stalkers as well. Stalkers blink back to retreat away, but you can already see they're kind of just slowly trailing the disruptor. At least we'll buy them some space and some breathing room. My goodness. Clem still chases a little further, but as Zealots show up, I think he knows better than to continue through. He knows that that's not going to end up well for him if he really tries to force the issue. Man, what a wild game we're getting out of these two. Great semi-final in this second semi of the day. Winner plays solo in the best-of-5 finals. The disruptor shot gets denied. That's big. Can we actually save this base? We lifted to stop the damage from the Zealots. Not enough SCVs if the Stalkers target fire it down. Oh my goodness! Finally we got the target fire on it. The Stalkers took a while to get there though, and just taking so long finally means that we will lose a lot of those Stalkers. Clem with a full set of upgrades in his favor, so when it comes to bio and gateway units, the bio units are going to be even more favored than they might usually be. Another storm. So let's wander through that. Clem needs reinforcements to really fight this. This is herO's reinforced army. Clem's are just now starting to join up. Again, it's more about just more disruptors here from herO. He's really looking for one of those moments where he just gets a big connection. The disruptors have gone too far forward there, though. He will dive and get both. Another one on the bottom just wanders too far in before firing. This is an extremely one-sided fight. The upgrades on top of bad control from our Protoss. A good storm at the tail end does a little bit of saving from herO, but he is still down now. 40 army supply. The disruptor will buy you a few more moments. Enough medevacs to heal through that storm damage as well, because there's a lot of them up in the skies, albeit starting to run a bit low on energy. Another High Templar goes down. These Zealots still getting hit, and our bio will just chase through. And as the Zealots turn around once again, I'm going to get rid of a few of those. herO is completely all in because he never rebuilt the natural. He never rebuilt that bottom left base, so he's just been sending it with more unit production. And to be fair, Clem, he's lifting up his main base to relocate to take a fourth, but that's so much better of a position than what herO has. That's the difference right now. That's the deal breaker in what we've got going on. So, yeah, it looks as though we're going to have a very, very successful series from Clem. He just needs to kind of take probably one more fight. herO really does not have the economy, the bases, or anything to truly kind of stay in this, so this should just be a case of one more solid fight and we are good to go. The army of herO already working across the map. A few more Stalkers warping in. 5 units get across here. It's going to start taking this battle. We do see the couple of disruptors coming around. Disruptor shot number 1 misses. Good split from Clem. Disruptor shot number 2 misses. Good split from Clem. As now the disruptors get jumped on. Okay, Clem doesn't have Vikings against these Colossi, but he just has so many Marauders. And you can see that this army is not dying, whereas herO's cannot stand still and fight. GG. Clem gets the 2-0 and puts himself in the finals against Solar. Clem Solar Grand Finals. A very fun best of 5 coming up. TVZ going to be